Great stuff. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for having us. And it's great. I mean, I think that I've been hearing about OCP all conference long. It's been great to hear that all in all we are being mentioned, and companies are trying to look into OCP. At the same time, great stuff with the green thumbs. I think that we are on the same color scheme here, which is great. So yes, I am Raul. I'm part of the OCP staff as the European Market Development Manager. I'm involved with the community as well. I've been involved with OCP since 2018 as a volunteer, and joined the staff recently to take care of the European project. Oops, there you go. So what I want to cover today is actually very simple. I want to discuss about OCP. I want to discuss about, and I need to be honest with you guys. I took some of the ideas and some of the discussions that we saw this in this conference, and I included all of that into my presentation just to dig deeper in some of the topics, including my colleague here from Booking that mentioned those. What about those big 2U servers with big fans? We will see that, by the way. So very simple. We will discuss about OCP, about open specifications, about how do you can get ready for OCP, hosting OCP and learning more about OCP, how to get involved, challenge and opportunities, call to action, and Q&A. It's very simple. But let me start about OCP. So OCP is all about openness, sustainability, impact, efficiency, and scale. So how do we get those designs steered by our community that started in 211, and all of the work with all of the vendors and other members and contributors are actually doing that. How we can get all of that impacting the market through open innovation, right? And we will discuss about specs, best practices, how rapid technology adoption is shaping up this, and mostly discussing about multi-vendor ecosystems as well, because this is the name of the game. How we can somehow think about solutions and standards that unify the vendor ecosystem in OCP solutions. So let me tell you a bit about how all of started and how we are doing. As I mentioned, we started with 5 founding members in 211. Well, great adoption. I think that how many people are here in the PremDay? 170, right? 130. So think about the first summit that we did something similar to this, which is great. I mean, taking a picture of this and looking how we grow. And right now we are 450 members. Lots and lots of people joining us in our summits. Great community altogether. And the community keeps growing. I want to focus on EMEA, where we have more than 70 members, and we have a healthy startup ecosystem program, 150 plus project work streams, and this is very important, guys, market impact. At the same time, I want to actually shout out to all of the vendors that are present here. Most of the sponsors here in PremDay are part of OCP already. And by the way, maybe this is not well updated, so maybe we are leaving somebody out. Sorry about that. But it's a good way to understand membership, let's say, ecosystem coming from startups, components, up to your cloud providers here. OVH there, that's great. And at the same time, how this membership is spread around the world, right? Of course, OCP, even if it has a global outreach, has a prevalent presence in the US and the Americas. I think that we are doing quite well in EMEA, and we actually did a great push coming from last year, where we had 15%, and now we are at 23% of members and companies coming from the EMEA region, which is great. And then, of course, OCP is not OCP without our collaborations. And you can identify some here. I'm not sure if we have some guys from Deutsche Telekom here with the i14Y lab. Of course, all of the standards are represented, and I will discuss more about that. Of course, in software and management, the Linux Foundation and the MTF with Redfish and other initiatives, and the Open Infra Foundation. So let's talk about open specifications. And I had to be extremely careful about what I want to discuss here. One of the things that you're going to see here is that this information is not let's say, 2025. This is 2024 Global Summit. So we had some developments here, but the thing that we are seeing here is that the trends that are setting the market inside of OCP solutions. And of course, I want to mention MHS. How many of you guys are familiar with MHS? Okay, I mean, I think that I can skip that, that slide right away. So MHS is a great way, with the collaboration with the big vendors, a big way to understand modular hardware systems. Well, that's the definition, actually. How we go from components to a full system, from the board form factors to the management systems. Of course, I mean, most of the market started working with NICs, OCP NICs, some time ago. And it's a great progression. Right now, you can see that OCP is impacting the majority of the server ecosystem. And it doesn't have to be with OpenRack. This is a great standard coming from specification, because standards are different things, coming from OCP. And it's a prevalent and it's a pervasive standard. So we can go from hyperscale to the access, considering compute and networking. So MHS is not only about computing itself, it's about how we enable open edge solutions and networking and run solutions as well. At the same time, I don't want to forget, and I want to ask the same question again. Who here is familiar with the OpenRack specification? There you go. Well, I think that Stefan helped us yesterday discussing about the B3 and their advancements. So that's great. But I want to mention what comes next, because ORB3 it's a great specification, great modular specification that paves the way to the systems that we are seeing. And I'm sorry, I'm going to mention AI this time. Taking into consideration increased demands in capacity of computing. So we come from the original standard where we are thinking about 18 kilowatts, and now we are not only considering HPR, but HPR2, which is going to be talking about 300 and more kilowatts per rack. And another thing that I wanted to mention, and I think that it was discussed yesterday, it's okay, what about, so if we go back and we are starting to see this kind of hardware densities. How we go about DLC. And Paul, I think that you mentioned that, by the way. But I wanted to do a quick, let's say, mention to the Blind Med Quick Connect. And this is a specification that has been worked for so many brands and so many vendors in the ecosystem that we can say that this is mature to be adopted, and it's being adopted. And I don't know if you can see the trend here. So you can still see that those racks are still ORB3. And that's the great thing about ORB3. This is something that is extendable, it's adaptable. It's been, let's say, having a life cycle, a very long life cycle, where different additions and different changes are being added as modules or different additions, like we can see here. And this is great. I mean, this is a way to not to have to be worried about how we connect the servers to the liquid cooling loop. It's a blind-made approach. If you want to know more, I encourage you to scan the QR code. I didn't want to spend too much time on this, but I think that this is a fundamental part that I wanted to discuss coming from the discussion in this event, in this conference. And it's a great work that the community did, and it's been released. And I want to give you a quick example about when we discuss about densification, server densification. And this is something that the HPR rack allows. Not only HPR, but this is based on the standard ORB3 reference designs. We can actually see approaches coming from the Capri 2 or the SLED approach coming from OCP, where we have 36 nodes, up to systems that can do 2 nodes per U. Very high dense equipment, by the way, so we can go from 18 kilowatts to 80 kilowatts per rack. And of course, considering all of the CDUs and all of the direct liquid cooling approach on the systems. So this is a way for OCP to match and to provide solutions to the densification problem. And of course, I mean, the other different parts of the ecosystem. And I don't want to forget about networking. I will discuss other considerations as well. I want to discuss about the SAI and Sonic. We will see open firmware and we will see open BMC as well, guys. How OCP is defining let's say the open networking approach, and how we are in collaboration with the Ultra Ethernet Consortium and other consortiums, how we are shaping the future of open networking. And Sonic is a big part of this. And Sonic is a collaboration between OCP and the Linux Foundation networking project. And it's a great system that it's being adopted not only in by the hyperscale, but at the same time by other vendors like, I would recall Dell adopting this and others adopting this. How many vendors are here that have Sonic in their portfolio? Maybe we don't have too much networking here. There you go, nice. And of course, hardware management and security with things like the security appraisal framework and well, the SAFE program, the log program, of course, the collaboration about Calyptra, and of course, I don't want to forget about Redfish, which is a great and extendable protocol to manage systems, which you have been hearing about in the previous presentations. Yeah, and now we are talking about AI. And this is the main, let's say, main strategic initiative right now for the Open Compute project, which is called Open Systems for AI. I think that you saw the announcement of some of the big vendors about new releases for AI machines, and some of those are made in the context of the open systems for AI. So this is not only the present of AI machines and AI equipment, but this is setting the future as well. And the great thing that we are doing with Open Systems for AI is that this is, as this being a strategic initiative, this is encompassing several projects inside of OCP, and not only that, but hitting what we call the OCP marketplace. So some examples of different components building open systems for AI are what you see here, but there are many more. One of the things that I'm going to do right now is I'm going to encourage you to visit the marketplace. This is a great way to discover open systems for AI components that can be adopted right now by the industry. So the marketplace for artificial intelligence is just a part of the marketplace. The marketplace itself is much larger and encompasses all of the components and solutions about OCP that can be adopted in the industry right now. Okay, we discussed about hardware, right? IT systems based in OCP. How many of you know if you are ready for OCP, to host OCP in your facilities? Okay, well, that's great. That's what I'm going to talk about. I mean, at OCP we have too many programs that are working towards this. First of all, we have the OCP Experience Center program. The OCP Experience Center program is a way for vendors, adopters, and so on to provide kind of a showcase approach to OCP, where they can host, and as a newcomer, you can go and visit experience centers where OCP technology is being implemented and is being shown. The approach of this is very simple. I mean, we want for people to know if OCP can be adopted. We want people to touch, see, and understand that this is adoptable technology. Again, this is not new. 2011, I said that. 211, sorry about that. But still, it's a great way to face, let's say, adoption resistance. And as I mentioned, I mean, you can go there, visit, you can test drive solutions based in OCP in facilities that are ready for OCP, validate, collaborate, experience, and adopt. So quite nice pictures here from OCP equipment, from different OCP experience centers. And this is a nice view of let's say, the OCP experience centers that we have throughout Europe. If you go to the OCP website, there's a section dedicated to this. You can get a nice map. You can get contact information for some of them. Scaleway here is hosting a virtual lab for open firmware with HP. And it's a good example of an experience center that you can arrange and you can discuss about testing open firmware and open BMC equipment. And then, of course, I don't want to forget about the OCP Ready Recognition Program. And this is very simple. We know that OCP is a slightly different way of doing things in the data center, right? We need to understand how all of that is affecting the data halls where we are installing this, how all of that is affecting my cooling, my power, and so on. So what we did is that we created a self-certification program. It's very simple. It's just a checklist that you need to check. You can do that by yourself. This is completely open. If you feel that this is valuable for your customers to be certified, you can come back to us and we can give you the certification and we can work with you. But all of the specs are there in the open, and you can do that. And it's a nice way to ensure that site access, structural information, electrical, mechanical, sustainability metrics, and the certifications required that most of the data centers and data halls, modern data halls and data centers are compliant with. So it's a very, very, very interesting way to check if you can host OCP, to ensure that you can think about this as a kind of a site selection check, to ensure that you can deploy OCP and open racks. So, okay, what all of this has to do with Europe, right? Because I've been talking about technology mostly. So the thing is that OCP is ready to be adopted in the market. We are seeing examples, great examples here with Scaleway paving the way. And we can see the great vendor ecosystem here, mostly in this room. We need to do more. We need to make sure that we enable supply chains. We need to make sure that OCP is heard about. I think that right now we have the challenge of sustainability. We have the challenge of sovereignty being prevalent here in Europe, where open technologies like OCP and open hardware like OCP fits the bill to solve those issues. We need the fact of how we move into a new paradigm of open specification that is able to adapt and cope with the latest trends in computing. Of course, I'm going to mention AI again. Sorry about that. But the trend is clear. We need to work, and all of the vendors, they need to be aware that, and they need to be enabled and capable to offer those solutions. And then my call to action here. It's very simple. If you're interested in OCP, of course, we have the community. Join us. Participate. We want to hear your opinion about OCP. We want to hear vendors. We want to hear about, okay, I want to do OCP, but I heard about OCP 4 years ago, and that was a mess. I don't want to hear more about that because it was a mess. That's not the case anymore. So I want to hear your pain points. I want to hear what do you need exactly, and I will be more than happy, and the community will be more than happy to walk you through. So if you're interested to adopt OCP, you can do that. And of course, work with your organizations to talk about OCP if you are interested in OCP. And I'm thinking about, for instance, about supply chain, tenders, and so on. So we need to generate, if there's interest, we need to generate a demand so the vendors will align, the institutions will align, and we can make it happen. And of course, I mean, I'm here for the rest of the day. I will share with you my email address, so you can contact me if you have any questions. And well, again, this is mostly focused on the community-wise, right? But join, drive, run, contribute, and attend. It's very simple. Let me know if you are interested. You can just do this visiting our website. We are open. We are doing a better job on how we organize the projects so we can onboard, and the processes so we can onboard new people and new opinions coming to us. And of course, I mean, some of you guys know about this, but in a month, less than a month, we have the European Summit happening in Dublin. Anybody that is interested on coming, please raise your hand. Okay. So if you don't have or didn't know about this and you want to come, please come to me and we will discuss so you can make it happen. This is where the community meets, and this is where the new contributions are discussed, and this is a great way for you to experience the work that we are doing usually online in a single place. And this is happening in Dublin. Very, very soon, in a few years, will happen most probably here in Paris, in France, where we started, by the way, doing the regional summits. So please come back to me if you want to know more. I will be more than happy to work with you to see how you can be there. And that's it. I think that we have proper times for a Q&A, some questions.
Hi, just curious, thank you very much for your presentation, very interesting. You mentioned that you are involved in startup, at the beginning of your presentation. Can you?
Let me go there. Sorry about that.
Because I guess really startup have a big play to role to push big company to move forward.
Okay. So the startup program at OCP, it's a way to support those companies that they have innovative solutions at the moment. It's part of what we call the Future Technologies Initiative, which are discussions and are technologies being discussed that they will be ready for the market in 5 to 6 years. I don't want to elaborate because I can spend another hour on this. If you're interested about this and if you're a startup and if you want to know more, let's sit down and let's discuss.
Another question, please. I think, I saw the chiplet technology is amazing. I think in Europe we have a lot to play on this because we have such huge delay respect to America. Did you involve ST Electronics, CA, Infineon? Because I think, again, on this technology through Silicon Vias, we are very strong in Europe. But those guys as ST, unfortunately, they don't know there is this markets. They are not joining. It's something really amazing, incredible, because they can bring a lot of value.
And we are well involved in the European chiplet ecosystem. And one of the things that we are doing that is that we have the chiplet economy ecosystem, the open chiplet economy ecosystem. Some of the most prevalent startups joining us are chip startups and chiplet startups that are well involved in the European chiplet ecosystem. So I can tell you that there's a healthy chiplet ecosystem for Europe happening at the moment. If you want to be part of it, again, let me know. The main issue right now with the OCP startup program is that we are dying of success. We have a long list of companies that are knocking at our doors to be part of that. And we are considering this case by case, and we do a follow-up every 6 months. It's a great way if you are a startup to be involved. So if you want to know more, not only you, but again, everybody, please let me know, and I will be more than happy to tell you about it.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, great, thank you.